Hey, good morning, fellow YouTubers. So, I want to make a quick video, talking head. Just quickly, I'm going to pick my son up. It's Saturday morning. Before I get into that topic, I just want to say how crazy this coronavirus is. I wanted to kind of avoid the topic because I feel like there's a lot of hysteria unnecessarily and a lot of panic. But, it is kind of scary when my work shut down, and so I know they're going to find a way to keep us busy because they're saying we're still going to get paid, because obviously that would be a huge dilemma if all of a sudden you have to stay home for weeks at a time with no pay. Obviously everything in everyone's life would fall apart pretty quick. They say most people live just one or two paychecks from like being broke. But that's a different topic. But at the same time, it's it's just scary. Mainly, I'm kind of scared about how the economy is going to react to all these businesses shutting down. Someone mentioned to me the other day, I was in the dog park and I met this really nice lady, and she said, well, at least it'll lower the carbon footprint. And I interpreted it wrong, and I'm like, that's politically incorrect. You shouldn't say that. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm saying, well, aren't you indicating because of all the people that are dying that there's going to be less difficulty to the earth and the environment because of a smaller carbon imprint? She was like, no, I wasn't referring to that, but that is true. But I know I was referring to like here in the harbor, all the boats, there's such a decrease now in boats coming and going. And, a lot less international air flights with planes. I was like, oh, okay, you're good. you can't mention that about, it's kind of, never mind, I don't even want to go there. Okay, but my topic I wanted to talk about is 2-Up riding. So after watching an MC Rider video about 2 weeks ago, I posted a talking head video just like this, driving to work, talking about the most likely person to get in a motorcycle accident. And that it was kind of confusing because MC Rider said the most likely person to get into an accident is someone that's on a brand new motorcycle. And then I kind of thought, well, what about a brand new rider that's on a motorcycle he's not familiar with, the controls and everything. So, but then I just realized yesterday there's even one worse, and that's a new rider on a motorcycle. Obviously, he's not familiar with any motorcycles if he's a new rider, right? So, a new rider, unfamiliar with the motorcycle, and then 2-Up to have someone behind him. Because, gosh, I remember being a junior in high school, brand new rider, and putting girls on the back. And knock on wood, luckily never went down with a girl on the back. But I remember just kind of like, even when they would get on, because usually girls, they'll like put both hands on your shoulders and put that inside foot on the peg, and then stand up on your left side, and that like little whole bike kind of pulls to the left, and then because all their body weight is on that one foot before they throw that other leg over. And I mean, even not being prepared for that, when you're that new, and then from there situations just are compounded. But the worst is when the girl is really scared of leaning into a turn. It could be a guy. I mean, I don't mean to discriminate, but there's girl riders these days, right? Anyways, that would be kind of weird to be sitting, quote unquote, bitch, with your girlfriend driving. I don't know if I could feel comfortable with that. But so some of these girls, young, never been on a motorcycle, and they'd be very scared of the lean. And so what would they do? When you'd lean into a turn, they'd lean against the turn, and you know, it really throws you off. So what I would tell the girls is, you know, not always right away, because I was new. I wasn't used to trying to educate people before we started. But after a few situations like that, and we'd reach our destination, or I'd just pull over and I would explain, okay, what I want you to do is, I want you to think of your spine as a pole that's perpendicular to a concrete floor. And so your spine is a pole that goes right into that seat. So wherever that seat goes, your spine goes. And, you know, if you're comfortable, if you're dating the girl or whatever, you could just tell her, just wrap your arms around me and just hold on. And then that spine or that problem with them leaning away from the churn hopefully would be taken care of. But you also gotta kind of tell them, you know, don't worry. These rubber tires are really technologically advanced, and they're sticky and they grip. Psychologically, it's typical for all new riders to feel scary when you make that lean. But after, you know, you ride enough, you're not so scared anymore. So try to be confident, try to have faith, try to trust me that when we do these leans, don't fight it and lean against it, because that could lead to an accident. And the reason you're doing that is because you're afraid of an accident, and it's actually counterintuitive because you're doing something that could cause an accident. So don't do that. What else? Oh, another good thing to tell especially if you're on any kind of, you know, anything but a cruiser. So anything where your ergonomics have you basically mid-controls, spine straight up and down, or sport bike or sport tour even, where you're leaning forward more with mid-controls. You want to get the person in the back to know that anytime you have to stop quickly for a stoplight or a car, is to throw that hand on the tank. As soon as they throw that hand on the tank, probably around 80, 85, 90% of their weight is no longer squishing you into the tank, and your arms are having to fight all that weight. So, you know, because, you know, this girl could be 120, 130 pounds, and she's just glued to you. So when you throw those brakes on, bam, all of her weight is pushing on you. What else is good? You know, if you got a backseat driver that's regular, you know, it won't hurt to get them to throw down some hand signals. Whether you got your turn signals or not, whether you're using your turn signals or not, just because, you know, hand signals is a movement. And in the daytime, you know, you might not have LED turn signals, you know, and so I think a hand movement to signal that lane grabs that driver's, at least that's been my experience, grabs that driver's attention quicker than a light. Those LED lights are pretty bright, but like on the freeway, when I change lanes, I pretty much, usually I'm turning left. I mean, going over into the left lanes, trying to get into the carpool lane. I usually turn my head and I throw my hand out, because bam, there's two movements right there, and I got the turn signal. So, I mean, they'd have to be drunk or high to not see all three of those. Anything you can use in your favor is best. What else? Gosh, talking about this, I kind of miss having a girl on the back. Let's see, what else is there? That's about all I can really think of. But two-up riding's a lot of fun, but the DMV really says that you really shouldn't do it until you've got like thousands of miles under your belt if you're a newbie. And I forget how many miles. I should have looked that up before I started. But it is kind of considered a significant amount. I if I recall correctly. And it's just because it brings a whole new level of weight, which means your bike is gonna be performing differently. So it's gonna take bumps differently, it's gonna take braking, acceleration, churning, everything's gonna be a little bit different. So anyways, you guys riding 2-Up know what I'm talking about. It's a lot more work, just that weight. Like, especially if you're driving in traffic with stop and go, a lot of clutch work, or if you're splitting lanes, got another pair of knees kind of sticking out that you got to contend with or think about, be aware of. But it's a lot of fun, because when you get to your destination, you've got your significant other or whoever this person is to you with you. And, especially it's great if you got a back driver that just fully trusts your skills and your ability, because it's a little bit of a headache psychologically if you have someone on there that's really scared, whether they're scared of the whole thing in general or scared because they don't really know your skill set or your ability to handle a motorcycle. But I guess I'm just starting to look for things to talk about. So 2-Up riding, it's a lot of fun. Everyone enjoy it, but if you're a brand new rider, work into it. Make sure you got some miles on your belt and maybe practice a little bit with that backseat driver on parking lots. Have a great day, everyone. Keep the rubber side down and enjoy your motorcycles.